So this is my 2021 Tao Rhino 250. Picked it up off the Facebook Marketplace on a trade. When I found it, the owner said it was leaking oil, needed a carb clean. So after checking it out and looking like it actually wasn't going to be all that much work, I agreed to the trade. Took it home, got to work. So one of the first things that I did with this machine was I took off the stock carb 27 millimeter fake Mikuni and slapped on a fake PZ30 clone. Definitely made startup and running better, easier. Screams a little bit higher on the top end. Because I have a large foot, I chopped away the back half of the shifter, the heel shifter, so it doesn't get in the way and hit my heel on the floorboards. As I walk around the back, because these China quads from Tao have really narrow tracks in the back, I did slap a 2-inch spacer on there on either side. Those are off of Amazon. They were like 40 bucks for the set. They widened out the back end by 4 inches, giving the machine a little bit of a better stance. The bag was a Facebook Marketplace find, and I got the little mini light bar on there off of Amazon, which definitely helps with illuminating the trails riding at night. The engine is a Honda CG200 clone, or a 250 clone. I believe this is only 200 cc's. It does have a little tack that I stuck on there, and this motor does rev out pretty high. It's got reverse, and then it's got 4 speeds in forward, and this thing carries my big frame around. I weigh about 250, 260 pounds, 6'2", and this thing has been out to all the local power lines, local riding areas, and it's done out in eastern Pennsylvania, the Lost Trails, several times, which are extremely rocky, very steep, and for a small machine, it's done quite fine. I don't want to say it keeps up with the bigger bikes, but you won't get left that far behind while you're going through some of the hills and the twisties. It's got enough to keep up. Got to have swallow your pride if you take it out, because it's definitely not as cool or as fancy as the real bikes, but it gets the job done. I would say if you could find one for the right price, I'd jump on it. Parts are easily available. They're cheap through the Tao website, through partskit.com, and a lot of the stuff you can find on Amazon. Like when I swapped out my shocks in the front, these are the RFY 375 millimeter shocks up front, which replaced the stock shocks, which were extremely stiff. And on the back, I've got a 400 millimeter RFY shock back there. So all in all, for the money that I got this for, it was initially a trade off of a mini bike, and then a few dollars here and there to upgrade the carb, replace the jug on the motor because it was leaking oil. There was a crack in the jug just above the head gasket. Swapped out the shocks. I probably spent like 200 bucks on this thing, on top of an old mini bike that I had that I traded for it. So all in all, definitely fun. This bad boy gets up to a little over 40 miles an hour, and it boogies. Definitely a good entry level into the four-wheeler market if you're not afraid to tinker and mess around with your toys, with your basic, like your carb settings or your valve adjustments, cables, brakes, stuff like that.